G'day folks, it's TK Text here on the 23rd of October. This vlog I just wanted to put out there is called To Smoke or Vape. Now, I've been a long-term smoker of cigarettes, tobacco products and so forth for 32 years now, and basically have been able to give up my dependence on tobacco-based products. I'm just into just over 3 weeks now since I last had a cigarette, obviously feeling a hell of a lot better. However, I didn't give up smoking per se. What I did have was a few friends who recommended I have a look at e-cigs or electronic cigarettes. Now what I'd like to do briefly is just share some of that journey with you and maybe hopefully give you a few ideas for yourself if, like me, you were sort of getting a bit sick and tired of it all. Now I guess for me, the biggest concerns I had, the health aspect was certainly there, and then you've got all the other issues. The biggest one for me was cost. This is from the Gold Coast in Australia, and the cost of cigarettes these days is really just ridiculous. You're paying basically $20 for a pack, which is a lot. I know a lot of the people who have given up cold turkey, the cost was often the biggest factor. They didn't really want to give up smoking, and actually neither did I. But that was a big issue. And again, you know, looking at some of the options that were out there, the first one that I came upon was a product called Green Smoke. Some of you might have heard of that. That's the kit that I got. And that's basically it. So this is one of the cigarette or electronic cigarettes that actually does look rather like a cigarette. It's a little bit bigger than a normal one, but at the end of the day, you know, that's basically what it's for. And my biggest concern was this really going to replace the feeling and the sensations and the satisfaction that I got from smoking? And I'm happy to say that the answer is yes. These are certainly not the cheapest product that's out there in the marketplace. There are some other excellent lower priced products. But what sold me on this, watching a lot of the reviews on YouTube, was the fact that you get a good throat hit out of these. There's a lot of vapor production, so it really does simulate smoking. I'll just give this a little bit of a shot and I'll explain how it works. Yeah, that's excellent. So, pardon me, you can see from that you're really getting a lot of vapor, and that's terribly important to get that whole sensation of smoking. Whereas again, this is replacing, you know, you've got something to do with your hands, you've got the whole, you know, smoking deal. Now the way these work very quickly, that's the battery. That's normally the part that would be filled with the tobacco product. This is what's called a cartomizer. You can get these in 2-part or 3 parts. They've amalgamated an atomizer and the cart, which is basically where the flavouring is. You know, if you're interested, I'd recommend you just do some YouTube searches for Green Smoke or e-cigs and see how people use these. The other couple of options that I did get for it, which I think are good. This is basically what's called a pass-through battery, and you just plug that straight into your USB port on your computer, or you could use that if you were near a power point, but certainly if you weren't going far from a computer. Have your other batteries on charge, and again you can just vape straight from this. And that's really good. That really is a great product. I'm very happy with that. The other thing I did get for it was a case. This was an option, and that's a little bit more bling than I'd normally have with any cigarette cases that I used to have in the past. But again, that's a fitted case, so you can carry a few cards, you can carry your batteries, you can carry your little USB charger. The battery just screws into the base there, and you can plug that into a USB or a power point, or have that charging on your car charger. And that was well worth getting. I'd certainly recommend, if you're going to have a look at these, maybe even have a look at the Pro kit rather than the starter kit, which comes with a few more of those accessories. Now folks, while I was very happy of course with my Green Smoke product, my curiosity was piqued about you know, what else is out there in the world of vaping. And look, there's some great review sites out there. I'll put some links up in the description comment section around some of the guys out there who do reviews of the different equipment. Different what they call e-liquids or e-juices that are available, and the consensus I found really was that, you know, the next logical progression for somebody like myself who really, you know, wants to commit to vaping and get away from tobacco products altogether, was a product called the Joytech Ego. Now this is the box I think the C model came in. The T model, the Ego T and the Ego C seem to be the most popular ones out there, and being a bit of a numbnut I decided to go and get one of each, and I'm not sorry I did. Now I'll just explain to you how they work. This is a little carry case that I got here, and these are sort of more I guess as I say, this is sort of like a progression from those sorts of cigarettes. So this is the Ego T model here, and I have this, no, that's just a normal battery. You can get variable voltage batteries. I've actually bought a few of those as well. And the way these work, this is using a clearomizer, what they call a clearomizer, which is just a stardust tank that's got a little drip tip on there, so that you can just take that off and drip your juice into that from your juice bottles. I'll just show you briefly what one of those looks like. So, you know, you've got a little needle nose on there, or you can use syringes and so on and so forth. I'll talk a bit more about juice in a moment. But they all work with pretty much the same principle. So you just fire up the button, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully that's flashing, yeah, which means that it's on. And then you hold the button down in order to activate the little atomizer inside it. I'll just show you how this one works. Oh, that's excellent. So as you can see, there's probably even more vapor production from that with the variable voltage batteries. I've got some over here. You actually just twist the base of this and you can actually increase the amount of power coming out of the battery. So you can tweak that to whatever juice you're using. So this is the C model, and whereas this has got the larger 1100 mAh battery, this one's on a 650, I believe that one is. And again, the same principle, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that just flashes to let you know it's going. Now the difference with this one, there's a different atomizer system which makes this more cost effective, and this is working on a tank. So again, I just use a syringe to squirt some juice into that little tank there, and that just pops in. And again, just give it a little bit of a prime, and then I'll vape this one for you. You really do get the whole throat hit thing, particularly with the nicotine products. I'll say here in Australia, and I believe there are some other countries possibly in the world, you can't actually purchase juice that has nicotine in it. I have to import this stuff. A couple of the dealers I've been using, apart from, well, Green Smoke obviously, I can't buy nicotine carts for that product here in Australia. I have to get those sent in from overseas. And Freedom Smoke USA is the one that I've been getting some nicotine based juice from. Here in Australia I found a local supplier that's really, I'm finding that's excellent products and great guys to deal with, which is Vaping Cobra. Down here on the Gold Coast. I'll put the link to their website up there as well for you. Now, we talked about cost before, so I have been tracking the numbers with this. Basically, I was probably about 1.5 packs a day man for all that time, and then you've got the cost of, you know, Zippo lighter fluids and flints, and not to mention all the shirts that have got burn holes in them and all that sort of stuff. So I'm saying around $40 a day would be a realistic expense of what it was costing me. Now, despite having bought all of my Green Smoke and Joytech gear and my juice that I've got from the States, and my Green Smoke stuff as well, after just over 3 weeks, I'm already about $150 ahead. So I'm pretty happy about that. I mean, you know, when you look at the projection of what I would have spent against what I've got to spend now, and I mean basically I'm only up for consumables, juice, I'll have to replace atomizers every so often, carts for the Green Smoke stuff. You know, to think that I'm actually ahead already financially is quite interesting. The health issues, and I know that giving up tobacco products is going to help that a lot. I mean, I'm using a vegetable gum base on this product. You get PG and VG, which is basically food additives. They just help create the vapor. So effectively I'm breathing in and out, you know, food product water vapor. which is obviously going to be a lot better. But anyway, folks, I mean, as I said at the beginning here, I thought I'd just briefly share this. Hopefully this hasn't rambled on for too long. 32 years as a heavy smoker, and really not wanting to give up, but sort of getting sick of some of those issues we've talked about. And this worked for me. All right, this has absolutely done the job. And I am so grateful for this technology. I mean, it's only been around probably about 5 years now, and absolutely loving it. So look, guys, if you're out there, and you know, I know 32 years, some of you watching this won't have even been alive that long. I've smoked heavily all that time, and to be able to find an alternative to smoking, which is what this is. It's not for kids. You won't be able to buy this stuff if you're under 18. It's not advertised or pretended to be a way of giving up smoking. It is an alternative to it. So I'll make that clear. You get onto any of the websites, they'll make it very clear, you know, you have to be 18 even to go on their sites. I'm not encouraging people who don't smoke to take up vaping by any means. But if you're like me and you've been a slave to tobacco for all those years, and you really want a solution that can give you a viable alternative and save yourself some money and improve your health a little bit, I think, really, and just get rid of that whole leprosy type issue, hey, you know, give it a go. It's out there. I'll put some links down in the description area for you, and yeah, vape on. Cheers. All right.